Imagine this for a moment. Every second of your life, your arteries are carrying the most important delivery system in your body. They are bringing oxygen, nutrients, and energy to every organ, every muscle, every cell, every thought. But what happens when those arteries begin to stiffen, inflame, and clog over time? What happens when the smooth, flexible highways of your circulation slowly become narrowed roads filled with damage? That is when the silent danger begins. Because artery damage often does not announce itself with pain at first. It develops quietly, it builds slowly, and one day it can show up as a heart attack, a stroke, high blood pressure, poor circulation, brain fog, or fatigue that you never fully understood. Now here is the hopeful truth. Your arteries are not helpless. Your body is not powerless. In fact, your body has remarkable repair systems built into it. Every single day it is trying to heal, protect, and restore balance. The question is, are you giving it the right materials to do the job? Because the foods you eat can either feed the problem or feed the solution. They can either push inflammation higher or help calm it down. They can either increase oxidative stress or help defend your blood vessels from damage. They can either support healthy circulation or silently make it worse. Today, I want to talk about 7 foods that may help clean your arteries naturally. Not in the fantasy sense of scraping plaque away overnight, but in the real scientific sense of supporting healthier cholesterol levels, reducing inflammation, improving the function of blood vessels, and helping your circulation stay strong for the long run. This is not about hype. This is not about miracle cures. This is about understanding how the body works and how to work with the body instead of against it. Let us begin with one of the most powerful groups of foods for vascular health: berries. Blueberries, strawberries, blackberries, raspberries, and even cherries are loaded with compounds called polyphenols, especially anthocyanins, which give them their rich red, blue, and purple colors. These compounds are more than beautiful pigments. They are biologically active molecules that help protect the lining of your blood vessels, known as the endothelium. That lining is incredibly important. It helps regulate blood pressure, controls blood flow, and keeps the arteries flexible and responsive. When the endothelium is working well, your vessels can relax when they need to relax and contract when they need to contract. When it is damaged, the whole system becomes less efficient. Research has shown that diets rich in berries can improve markers of endothelial function and reduce oxidative stress. That matters because oxidative stress is one of the forces that damages artery walls over time. Think of it like rust on metal. Rust weakens structure. Oxidative stress does something similar inside the body. Berries help push back against that process. There is also something else berries do beautifully. They support the gut microbiome, and that matters more than many people realize. Your gut bacteria help regulate inflammation throughout the body, including inflammation in the blood vessels. When you feed your gut with colorful plant foods, you are not only feeding yourself, you are also feeding the helpful microbes that can produce beneficial compounds affecting your heart and arteries. That is why berries are not just a sweet treat. They are a vascular strategy. A handful of berries in the morning, in yogurt, in oats, or by themselves can be a small daily habit with a big long-term effect. Now let us move to another incredible food for the arteries: fatty fish. Salmon, sardines, mackerel, trout, and herring are rich in omega-3 fatty acids, especially EPA and DHA. These fats are some of the best studied nutrients for cardiovascular health. They help lower triglycerides, reduce inflammation, and support the smooth function of blood vessels. Unlike many industrial fats that can encourage inflammation, omega-3s work in the opposite direction. They help the body produce signaling molecules that calm inflammatory activity and support healthier circulation. One of the reasons fatty fish is so important is because inflammation is one of the root forces behind artery damage. When inflammation persists inside the blood vessels, it can contribute to plaque formation and make plaque more unstable. That is dangerous because unstable plaque is more likely to rupture, leading to a clot that can block blood flow. Omega-3 fats help reduce some of the biological conditions that make this process more likely. They also support healthy heart rhythm and may improve blood vessel flexibility. If you do not eat fish often, this is one of the easiest places to upgrade your health. Even 2 servings per week can make a meaningful difference for many people. It is not about turning your life upside down. It is about choosing foods that your body recognizes as allies. A grilled salmon dinner, sardines on toast, or a simple trout meal with vegetables can become a heart-protective routine. And the beauty is that fatty fish does not just help one part of your body, it supports your brain, your mood, and your overall inflammation balance too. Now let us talk about olive oil, especially extra virgin olive oil. This is one of the crown jewels of cardiovascular nutrition. Extra virgin olive oil is not just a fat. It is a complex natural food rich in monounsaturated fats and powerful polyphenols. These compounds help protect LDL cholesterol from oxidation. That detail matters a lot. Many people think only about LDL cholesterol levels, but the quality of that cholesterol matters too. Oxidized LDL is especially harmful because it is more likely to contribute to plaque formation in the arteries. Extra virgin olive oil has been studied extensively in the context of the Mediterranean dietary pattern, and the results are consistently impressive. It is associated with better heart health, better vascular function, and lower inflammation. One reason is that it helps support the balance of fats in the blood. Another reason is that its polyphenols act like tiny defenders, helping protect cells from damage. But there is also a practical reason olive oil helps. It replaces unhealthy fats in the diet. When people use olive oil instead of refined seed oils in excess, trans fats, or heavily processed fats, the whole dietary pattern becomes more heart-friendly. The key here is quality. Not all olive oil is equal. Extra virgin olive oil is the least processed and contains the most beneficial compounds. Use it on salads, vegetables, beans, or whole grain bread. Add it after cooking when possible to preserve more of its delicate compounds. It is one of the simplest upgrades you can make in the kitchen, and yet it carries enormous long-term value for your arteries. Next, let us turn to leafy green vegetables. Spinach, kale, arugula, Swiss chard, romaine, mustard greens, and collards are among the most underrated foods in the world. They are rich in nitrates, folate, vitamin K, magnesium, and a range of plant antioxidants. The nitrates in leafy greens are especially interesting because the body can convert them into nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is one of the most important molecules in vascular health. It tells blood vessels to relax and widen, which improves blood flow and helps lower blood pressure. This is a major reason leafy greens are so valuable. Healthy blood vessels are not rigid pipes. They are dynamic, living tissues. They need to respond to the demands of the body. Nitric oxide helps make that possible. As we age, nitric oxide production can decline. That decline contributes to stiffer arteries and less efficient circulation. By eating leafy greens regularly, you help support the pathways that keep blood vessels more responsive. Leafy greens also bring fiber, and fiber is another unsung hero in artery health. Fiber helps lower LDL cholesterol by binding to bile acids and encouraging the body to use more cholesterol to make new bile. It also supports the gut microbiome, which influences inflammation, immune balance, and even metabolic health. A salad is not just a salad when you understand the science. It is an intervention. It is a way of helping your vascular system function more like it did when you were younger. Add greens to omelets, soups, curries, smoothies, and sandwiches. The more consistently you include them, the more your arteries benefit. Now we come to nuts, especially walnuts, almonds, pistachios, and hazelnuts. Nuts are small, but they are nutritional powerhouses. They provide healthy fats, fiber, plant protein, minerals like magnesium and potassium, and a range of antioxidants. Walnuts in particular are rich in alpha-linolenic acid, a plant-based omega-3 fat. Almonds are high in vitamin E, which helps protect cells from oxidative damage. Pistachios are associated with favorable effects on cholesterol and blood vessel function. One reason nuts are so helpful is that they improve the quality of the overall diet. When people snack on nuts instead of ultra-processed snacks, they often reduce their intake of sugar, refined starch, and unhealthy fats. That alone can help the arteries. But nuts also have their own direct benefits. Studies have linked nut consumption with improved lipid profiles, lower inflammation, and better heart outcomes. They support satiety too, which can help with weight management. And weight management matters because excess body fat, especially around the abdomen, can drive inflammation and metabolic stress that eventually damages the vascular system. A small handful of nuts each day can be enough. You do not need a giant bowl. In fact, portion control matters because nuts are calorie dense, but in the right amount, they are one of the smartest snacks available. Choose unsalted or lightly salted varieties when possible. Add them to oatmeal, yogurt, salads, or eat them on their own. A daily habit like that can quietly support your arteries for years. Now let us talk about tomatoes, a food that often gets overlooked in heart health conversations. Tomatoes are rich in lycopene, a powerful antioxidant that gives them their red color. Lycopene is especially interesting because it is fat-soluble, which means it becomes more available to the body when tomatoes are eaten with healthy fats like olive oil. This is one reason tomato sauce cooked with olive oil can be a very smart, heart-friendly choice. Lycopene has been studied for its potential role in reducing oxidative stress and supporting cardiovascular health. It may help protect LDL cholesterol from oxidation and support healthier blood vessel function. Tomatoes also contain vitamin C, potassium, and other plant compounds that contribute to overall vascular support. When people think of artery health, they often focus only on fats, but the body is more complex than that. Protective plant compounds are a major part of the story too. Cooked tomatoes can be especially useful because heating can make lycopene more bioavailable. That means tomato sauce, tomato soup, stewed tomatoes, and roasted tomato dishes can be excellent choices. Add them to beans, whole grain pasta, vegetable dishes, or soups. The point is not to depend on one tomato to solve anything. The point is to make tomatoes a regular part of a heart-supportive pattern of eating. Over time, those choices matter. The seventh food is beans and legumes. This includes lentils, chickpeas, black beans, kidney beans, navy beans, and peas. Beans are among the most powerful foods you can eat for overall metabolic and vascular health. They are high in fiber, plant protein, resistant starch, and a wide range of nutrients. They help lower LDL cholesterol, stabilize blood sugar, and support the microbiome. These effects are all connected to artery health. Why do beans matter so much? Because artery health is not just about one molecule. It is about the whole metabolic environment. When blood sugar is constantly spiking, when insulin is elevated too often, and when inflammation remains high, the arteries pay the price. Beans help create a more stable internal environment. Their fiber slows digestion, helps control glucose, and promotes satiety. Their protein helps make meals more satisfying. Their resistant starch feeds beneficial gut bacteria that produce short-chain fatty acids, which are associated with better gut and metabolic health. Beans also help lower cholesterol in a very practical way. The soluble fiber they contain can bind cholesterol-related compounds in the digestive tract and reduce the amount the body reabsorbs. That supports lower LDL over time. And because beans are affordable and widely available, they are one of the most accessible tools for improving heart health. A bowl of lentils, a chickpea salad, black beans with vegetables, or bean soup can be a true artery-friendly meal. Now, let us pause and bring all 7 foods together. Berries, fatty fish, extra virgin olive oil, leafy greens, nuts, tomatoes, beans. You may notice something important about this list. None of these foods are exotic. None of them are secret. None of them are sold as miracles in a bottle. They are real foods, whole foods, foods that have been used by human beings for generations, and now science is helping us understand why they matter so much. But here's a deeper lesson. These foods do not work because they are magical. They work because they support biology. They reduce the burden of damage. They help protect the artery lining. They support healthy cholesterol levels. They improve blood flow. They calm inflammation. They help the body produce more nitric oxide. They feed the gut microbiome. They make the internal environment less hostile and more healing friendly. That is the real meaning of eating for your arteries. And it is important to say something clearly. No single food can erase years of damage by itself. If someone smokes, eats ultra-processed food every day, never moves, sleeps badly, and has uncontrolled blood pressure or diabetes, then adding berries alone will not solve the problem. But this is where hope enters the picture. Because lifestyle is cumulative. The body keeps score over time. Good choices add up. Bad choices add up too. And the beautiful thing is that the body can begin to respond surprisingly quickly when you start shifting the balance in a healthier direction. Within days, you may start to feel lighter. Within weeks, blood sugar and energy patterns may begin to improve. Over months, cholesterol and inflammation markers may change. Over years, the arteries can benefit from a sustained reduction in damage and a sustained increase in protective factors. That is why daily habits matter more than dramatic extremes. It is not about a cleanse, it is about a pattern. If you want your arteries to stay healthier for longer, there are a few principles that make these foods even more effective. First, reduce the things that actively damage blood vessels. That means cutting back on ultra-processed food, excess sugar, trans fats, and very refined carbohydrates. These foods can increase inflammation and worsen metabolic health. Second, move your body regularly. Physical activity helps the endothelium produce more nitric oxide, improves circulation, and keeps blood vessels more flexible. Third, sleep enough. Poor sleep raises stress hormones and inflammation. Fourth, manage stress. Chronic stress is not just emotional. It has real biological effects on the cardiovascular system. Fifth, do not smoke. Smoking remains one of the most powerful and destructive causes of artery damage. No food can fully compensate for ongoing smoke exposure. And remember, your arteries are not only about the heart. They feed your brain, they feed your kidneys, they feed your eyes, they feed your legs, they feed every part of you. So when you take care of your arteries, you are not doing something narrow or cosmetic. You are protecting the entire architecture of your life. Better circulation can mean better energy, clearer thinking, stronger exercise capacity, and a lower risk of serious disease. Many people think health is built in dramatic moments. It is not. Health is built in ordinary moments. The breakfast you choose, the oil you cook with, the snack you reach for, the vegetables you add, the fish you eat on Tuesday, the beans you include on Friday, the handful of nuts you keep near your desk, the berries you put in your bowl. These are small decisions, but the body does not experience them as small. The body experiences them as signals, and over time, those signals shape your biology. If you have ever felt overwhelmed by health advice, I want to simplify it for you. Start with real food. Start with color. Start with fiber. Start with healthy fats. Start with foods that protect, not foods that provoke. Your arteries respond to patterns, not perfection. So do not try to fix everything in one day. Just begin adding the foods that help. One meal at a time, one grocery trip at a time, one better choice at a time. Imagine what happens when berries become your default breakfast topper, when olive oil becomes your everyday fat, when leafy greens show up on your plate more often, when beans become a regular source of protein, when nuts replace the packaged snack, when tomatoes become part of your cooking routine, and when fatty fish appears a few times each week. That is not a diet in the punishing sense. That is a healing pattern. That is a way of giving your arteries a better environment to live in. And because the body is always listening, it will begin to respond. Not perfectly, not instantly, but steadily. Vessels can become more flexible. Inflammation can come down. Lipids can improve. Blood flow can become smoother. The internal landscape can shift. That is what science teaches us again and again. The body is deeply influenced by what we feed it. So the real question is not, can one food cleanse my arteries overnight? The real question is, what daily pattern will I create that helps my arteries stay healthy for the rest of my life? That is a much more powerful question because it moves you from fantasy to action, from quick fixes to real biology, from fear to strategy, from waiting for disease to prevent disease. And if you remember only one thing from this message, remember this: your arteries are alive, responsive, and worth protecting. Every meal is a vote for the future of your circulation. Every time you choose a berry over a sugary snack, salmon over processed meat, olive oil over trans fat, greens over emptiness, nuts over chips, tomatoes over heavily refined sauce, and beans over highly processed protein, you are telling your body something important. You are saying, I want healing. I want resilience. I want better flow. I want strength that lasts. That is the real power of food, not the power to perform magic, but the power to shape the terrain of your health. And when the terrain is healthier, the body can do what it was designed to do: repair, protect, and thrive. So begin where you are. Use what you have. Make the next meal a better one. Make the next grocery list more colorful. Make the next week more consistent. Because over time, those choices can help keep your arteries cleaner, your circulation stronger, and your life more energetic and resilient than you may have thought possible. Your heart will thank you. Your brain will thank you. Your whole body will thank you. And the sooner you start, the more years you give yourself to feel the difference.